What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. Today, my guest is Nathan. Nathan is my fraternity big, and we'll let Nathan introduce himself in a bit. But today, we're here to talk about Nathan and my,
Both, yeah.
What do you call it? What do you think?
Life adjustments.
Experiences, moving from cultures to cultures.
Yeah.
And
Taiwan to America.
Exactly. All right. You want to introduce yourself to the audiences real quick?
Yeah, for sure. What's up, guys? I've been in one or two videos. Albert's big in his fraternity, and I'm currently a senior at UW. I'm studying informatics. I grew up in Tianmu, and I moved from Taiwan to Seattle in 8th grade. So been here since. Me and Albert kind of share like a pretty similar background, like moving here around the same time.
You want to talk about your experience, challenges, or what you weren't used to or anything?
Oh yeah, so I moved here in 8th grade, and it was sort of my decision. I think everyone's path is different. Albert, yours is different from me.
Yeah.
So my mom lived in Taiwan, and I lived with my mom for 13 years. But then my dad already was
living in the U.S.
Living in the U.S. in Seattle. Had a second family here, so I knew step siblings and things like that. And so I decided to move here technically from Taiwan to the US, which is probably different than you, because
very different,
right?
So you asked to move.
Yeah. A lot of it was the family dynamics, because my mom also wanted me to come here eventually, because
putting aside family consideration or your family situation though, just purely the life as a student or as a youth in Taiwan and the US.
Yeah.
Is that something that was kind of attracting?
Yes, for sure. The education system is a lot different.
Yeah,
I think there's certain things I miss about Taiwan's education. So here, back in 8th grade, all of our classes you go to the classrooms instead of the teachers coming into your classroom.
That's basically like college.
Does.
Yeah, that's something I really miss too, because I feel at least for me, I had a really close relationship with people who I took classes with every day together.
Yeah, exactly. Those are supposed to be my best friends for life, which is crazy to say that in middle school. People here say that in college, but I think for a lot of people in Taiwan, they're friends from middle school, high school, and they just keep going beyond because
Are you still friends with the people you were in the same class with before you moved here?
I'm not anymore, so it kind of just died down over time.
Okay, because I still am.
Yeah,
I meet them every summer. I get food with them every summer and catch up with each other and stuff.
Yeah. No, that's good. What ended up for me was more elementary school friends.
Okay.
Shout out to Albert and Jonathan. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was elementary, but
you gotta make sure to send this link to them then.
Yeah, I know, crazy. But
yeah, so my transition, my dad and my mom was we're giving you this chance. They're giving me this opportunity to kind of live in a new place. But at the end of the day, I didn't feel like I have a choice.
Right, it wasn't your choice.
Yeah. Even if I said no, am I just gonna, not go with my mom and my sister? I mean, no, I would be in Taipei with my dad if I hadn't come. I had a sibling especially. I wasn't just gonna let my sister come and stay in Taipei by myself. That would feel weird. Yeah. It's not like they were forcing me, but I basically couldn't say no.
Yeah, it wasn't in your control.
Yeah, it wasn't in my control.
Yeah.
And I remember this so vividly because it was a thing I was excited about, because in 8th grade, especially in 9th grade, it's a lot of pressure because people take the exam to get in high school.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much it really is, but they stay in school for, I'm sure it's more than 12 hours a day, at least for the school I was going to. Yeah,
I remember I was going to school at 7 in the morning, and then we have night classes, so we come back at 9, 10 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. And even if you don't have, I would still go to cram school. I wasn't really a fan of the high pressure stuff.
Yeah.
If I could avoid it, why not? That's the thing I was excited about, the transition. I wasn't really happy about, I gotta go to America, I gotta go to the US or Seattle. I was just more excited about escaping Taiwan. But the day before my flight, I was in tears, but I was crying balls. It was really bad. I couldn't stop crying because, I've lived in there for 13 years, and my family's there. Everything I'm just so used to everything. It's just my absolute comfort zone. And kind of getting pulled away from that, it was huge. That's kind of the thing that I realized or learned throughout these years, that time heals. Time heals a lot of stuff. And even to this day, it's my 7th year studying or going to school in the US. I still feel sad every time when I leave Taiwan in the summer. Do you still feel that?
I feel it in a different way. I feel for me, I was leaving my mom mostly. Right. It was a really difficult talk. I remember like bringing it up to her because you know, to her this is like probably hadn't crossed her mind at that point because I think she was planning for me to come here for university, but like definitely not like, you know, that early.
Yeah.
Because of that, I think I miss my mom the most, and I thought about my mom when I was on the flight.
Yeah.
That's when I cried the most.
Yeah.
I think one thing I would never forget in my life is how my mom like looks at me, or how me and my mom like interact with each other like right before I go into the gate at the airport. You know, everyone does that. And
that's really sad. Honestly, I could still feel it now, you know. It was bad enough that even though I knew it was severe, insane pressure in Taiwan to be at 9th grade, I was telling my parents, you know, I'd rather do that than move to the US. It was just so much pressure, especially at the age of 13. At the gate too, I was crying balls, bro.
Yeah.
My grandparents were there, my uncle, my aunts were there, but it was just really bad. Yeah. But I feel like for me, after 2 months, after I got to the US, started school, made some friends, not too many, but some. After 2 months of that, I kind of got used to it. Wasn't really missing anything too much anymore. Obviously, I still miss it, but it's not like causing me an issue or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Is that for you too?
I think I always had to like live with my decision almost because I made that decision. So like any regrets is kind of like on me.
Yeah, true.
At least I put it that way for myself. So I feel like I kind of had the, you know,
response. I mean, it's just on you.
Yeah, I was
you had no one to not blame, but no one really forced you.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I admire that, you know, even though you didn't have that decision you're in control, like you were able to like, you know, kind of transition.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think was the biggest thing that helped you kind of transition or assimilate into? Because I feel like it's really hard, especially I went to a public high school, you too, right? Since it's a public high school, people started going to school with each other, with the same group of people since elementary school. A lot of them do.
Yeah.
So I feel like people who would be friends were already friends. Yeah. It's really hard to get into small groups.
Yeah.
What do you think that experience was like for you?
Yeah, I think for me, it was like keeping up with the hobbies I already had. For example, I was doing orchestra and basketball.
Yeah.
And that's how I met my high school best friend. It's because of orchestra. It's because I introduced myself that day when I joined orchestra, the first day of school. And then he noticed me. He also spoke Chinese. And so I guess it was a mix of like, you know, just connecting with people through hobbies like basketball. I'm sure you did a lot of that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely relate with the hobby making friends kind of stuff, because I played basketball in high school, and I would say I made 80% of my friends from sports. And because I think the barrier disappears when you are doing sports. I made friends from basketball. I made my closest friends from basketball that I still hang out with a lot today. And I was able to meet some of their friends and make some new friends thereby. Next, I want to ask you, what do you think was the thing you were focusing on when you first moved here, you know? Because I'll talk about my experience later, but I feel like there's this kind of mindset that I was having when I first moved here that kind of shaped the path of my assimilation experience. You want to share about that?
Yeah. I think a good example is, I remember like one of the first few days, people will come and be like, say, what's up? Like literally just the 2 words, what's up? It's crazy saying this now, but I didn't know what those 2 words mean.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not how we like greet each other. You know, we don't say, how are you really? I've never said, how are you in Chinese. Exactly. I don't know. I feel like I've never said that before.
What is the way people, how did you kind of say hello to your friends in Taiwan? Tell us about it.
I was just like, what do you mean by what's up? And like, I was like, I searched it up and I was like,
you looked at what's up?
Yeah, I was like, what do I respond to what's up? And then for some reason it told me to say nothing. And then I remember I was at the urinal and like someone said, what's up to me at the urinal? I was like, nothing, bro.
Oh, wait, you said the word nothing?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant to not respond.
Oh, no. I thought what's up just literally means like, what do you want from me? Or like,
okay, honestly, if you ask me now, no one really kind of greets people with what's up. Like, if I were to ask you what's up, what would you say?
Like right now, I think what's up means like, okay, like what are you doing recently? Like how you feel?
I know, but I feel like you don't just go straight up to people and say what's up. Like
right now?
Maybe if I see you, I'll say, what's up, Nate? Oh, I guess
you do say that. What are you talking about? You do say that. Now you do.
Okay, yeah.
It's like, what's up? And you just say what's up back. Like sometimes I do that too. Yeah. I don't even say like, oh, I'm doing like a podcast or some shit. I just say like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah. I would say what's up, Nathan. You say, what's up, bro?
That's literally it.
That's
like,
it. So,
and then I was like, why do we do that?
yeah, so you don't really respond the word nothing, but you really just express nothing.
The main thing was just like, how do you socialize? Because I think I went to a middle school in Taiwan that was private. I went to Huaxing, and then I think we had to wear uniforms every day, and so I literally didn't know how to dress like on a daily basis when I came here. I think that was one of the reasons I looked like an outlier, is because I didn't know how to dress for the occasion, like for the weather.
Yeah.
I was wearing way too much, and I was sweating.
I mean, that was a big thing for me too, because I also I feel like a lot of schools in Taiwan require uniforms, and honestly, I was thinking it was a good thing. I didn't like it at the time, but after coming to the US, I feel like it was a good thing because you don't have to worry about what you want to wear every day.
Exactly. And
yeah,
you don't discriminate based on
exactly. Everyone wears the same thing.
Yeah.
But for me, the thing I was focusing on the most was I was going 110% not to look like an outlier in school, because I didn't want people to feel like I'm not part of them. You know, there's just this dynamic. I feel like, especially in California, where I was at when I first moved, that there's a group of Americans and there's the non-American group. And obviously, I just moved at the time. I obviously belonged to the kind of outlier kind of group when I first moved. But that's what I really wanted to avoid, because I just wanted to be, I guess, part of the cooler guys. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
I would really focus on how I spoke, the tone or the accent.
Like your accent, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or try to say things like, "What's up, bro? What's up? How you doing, bro? What's up?" Nothing, I'm chill. Something like that. Yeah, another thing that I still remember, in front of my classmates or any American peers, I would tell my mom not to speak Mandarin with me, because I feel like that could very easily set a wall between me and my peers. It's a weird thing, because why am I ashamed of how I'm communicating with my mom? Yeah. On a regular basis, like, why is this something I was worrying about?
I think back to your point of like being an outlier, I think because we try to not be outliers, it's almost like, you know, I'm sure your English wasn't that great, and like you had an accent, and I did too, like totally a lot. And I think because of that, in order to not be an outlier, you kind of just have to not talk.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You kind of just be quiet. And like, I personally think that like changed my personality a lot, and I kind of want to like bring it up with you, because I think.
What do you think changed the most after your transition?
I think when you speak different languages, it's almost like you have different personalities.
Oh, for sure.
I think for me, I remember like I was always like the sunny, like bright kid in like, you know,
for sure.
Taiwan. You know, I was always like the one person who talks the most, like tries to like you know, show off or whatever. But I think when doing like 8th grade, 9th grade, I was definitely like quiet. Like there was no one to communicate to, you know, well enough. No one well enough I can communicate with. And also
no one you know well enough to
communicate with.
Yeah, to be like that.
And also I can't communicate well. I don't want to say anything, because as soon as I say something, my accent
you can expose yourself. I changed so much, because I used to be the loudest, the silliest, the most annoying person in my class, and I would say anything, filterless. And I wasn't really caring about anyone or anything. I would just do whatever I wanted. You know, I would also try to gain attention by being the loudest person. You know, I assume you were too, but probably one of the funnier people in class, you know, that make people laugh.
Oh, you're funny, yeah.
If you make people laugh, people like you, and that's how I was trying to gain attention. But yeah, anyway, you know what I mean. But basically, when I moved to the US, I completely changed. I did not do that at all, not because I didn't want to. I hope I could. But I just wasn't able to.
You couldn't,
I couldn't, because it's just something I don't have the ability to do.
Communicate,
Exactly, and I don't know how to be funny in front of my American peers.
How to be funny in English.
Exactly, that's what I meant. I feel like at this point, that's still really how I am today. Every summer when I go back to Taiwan, I kind of switch my personality. I kind of return back to what I was before I moved. And then when I come back for school, living with my American peers again, I kind of switch back to that kind of more low-key, quiet person. Even in our frat, I don't really speak much. I'm definitely not the loudest person. Definitely not the funniest person too. And which I would love to be if I could.
That's interesting you say that, because I feel like personally, I see Albert from like when he's both in Taiwan and both when he's in the frat.
You feel the difference?
And I definitely feel the difference.
Really? Okay.
I see a lot more like just like swag in you when you're in Taiwan. I don't know. It's like we're in like night market, you know.
I know. I definitely feel a lot more confident when I'm in Taiwan. Because I mean, it's my comfort zone, so why wouldn't I? I haven't really been trying to change it. I don't dislike my current self. You know, I could be low key, I could be quiet. I don't have to be the funniest guy. I've been like that in the past 7 years. I guess I'm kind of used to it. It's fine. It's not really a thing that I've been trying to fix anymore.
Maybe we can talk about like what we could have done differently in high school. I think for me, like, you know, the confidence definitely dropped. I think I wanted to fit in, so I was trying to do things that may not be like what I really wanted to do, just to like be part of the majority in a sense.
Yeah.
And I think, for example, I think before I came to the US, I was interested in orchestra and robotics, right? And I did orchestra a little bit and robotics a little bit, but I don't know, personally, I felt like, you know, it's like, you know, like the group of people that
Nathan was like, yeah, let me play basketball, so the girls would be like, oh, Nathan!
I was not like that. Yeah, that's one thing too. I did not have that much riz like back in high school. Like I quit orchestra and robotics because they weren't like the cool people.
The cool people play football, basketball, and stuff, soccer.
Yeah, exactly. I prioritize my
your coolness,
my community over what I'm passionate about.
For sure. For me, I feel like college helped me feel more comfortable in just being myself. I'm assuming it's because in college, people come from all over the places. You know, there's just a lot of people with very different identities, backgrounds, and stuff. I've talked to my mom in Mandarin in front of my college peers. I don't really care anymore.
I was gonna ask you that,
Yeah, because there's just so many different identities and different things we see here. So people aren't really focusing on you as an outlier or me as an outlier.
Yeah.
It wasn't really bothering me as much as high school.
Yes, that's a good point. I think high school is probably actually almost like harder in a bit.
Yeah.
Because of
for sure
all like the constraints, you know, depending on where you go to high school, it could be obviously less diverse.
Yeah. So after 8 years of living in Seattle, what do you think your relationship with Taiwan is? I mean, you don't have to say it now. You could think about it a little bit, but I'll go first. Yeah, so for me, obviously I live here, I go to school here. I guess I'm more used to my life here at this point because it's been so many years. But Taiwan, I still really love Taiwan. I don't really have an exact plan yet, but it's somewhere I want to be eventually. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would come to school here, I would probably work here, but eventually I want to be in Taiwan. The US is not really somewhere I see myself for the rest of my life. It's somewhere that I really love though. It's somewhere I kind of happen to gain appreciation in the past 7 years. Because, I mean, I know there's a narrative in Taiwan that a lot of people think that, you know, the US is a lot better.
Right, like idealized.
Yeah, exactly. In some aspects, maybe. I mean, I like the education system here a lot better, that's for sure. But Taiwan's a lot safer, a lot cheaper. Living cost is a lot cheaper, but they also don't pay as good. So I don't know, pros and cons.
Yeah. But
Taiwan's the place I love. I love the people, my family's there.
I think for me, somewhere on the same, I think half of my family are in Taiwan. That makes it so like, it'll always be a place for me to go back. Yeah. Consider as home. So I think I'm really flexible in the way that's like, if my mom moves here, like that's like perfect because I would definitely stay here. Depending on what she does, I think it makes my decision a lot different as well. Yeah. So I'm open to it all. But
you're open, but if she moves here, that would be perfect for you to stay.
Yeah.
You know? But if she doesn't though, like all things aside, just yourself, your career, your assimilation, your culture, your identity.
Yeah.
Where do you think?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess I see my career advancing more in the US, like going to grad school. Yeah. And like research opportunities. It's just like everything's just bigger and like more established here. And I think that's probably why I'll probably be in the US for like, 10 years or so. But I think
that's not a lot. Like I would be here for 10 years. I'm not against being here for another 10 years. But eventually, not even when I retire, but when I'm, I don't know, 40 years old, 50 years old, I would love to be in Taiwan.
It's good to like plan it out like that, but I think you don't necessarily need to be planning about that. Like if you have thought about that, I feel like that's good, but I feel like it really depends on like, where my family is. Maybe I just end up really liking Europe because they have like a universal healthcare system.
Maybe I'll end up in Japan.
Yeah, maybe you'll just end up in different places. Like, I feel like we don't know enough even to like know exactly what we want to do.
Definitely. Anything else you want to talk about or share? We could probably run it back sometime.
Yeah, I definitely think it would be interesting, if you guys comment on like which part.
Thank you. I love seeing people's comments.
On like which part of the video that needs to be talked about more.
Yeah, or something that we didn't discuss but you want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be great because that gives me video ideas, and also I just love engagement. Yeah, make sure to comment and subscribe if you like. Yeah. And I'll drop Nathan's Instagram handle here if that's fine.
Yeah, of course. Right here.
See ya. Bye!